You ever look into her eyes and feel like something's missing, but you can't explain it? Like there's a story behind her smile that wasn't meant for you, laughter that doesn't belong in the moment, touch that feels practiced, rehearsed, like muscle memory from another life. That feeling isn't paranoia, brother. That's instinct. And the moment you ignore it is the moment you hand over your power. In the ancient world, we didn't ask a woman about her past. We watched. We listened in silence, waited for her eyes to flicker when her old ghosts passed through the room. We didn't confront, we observed. Because everything you need to know about a woman is revealed when you learn to say less and see more. The man who speaks too much reveals himself. The man who sees without speaking owns the room. A Stoic doesn't seek comfort. He seeks clarity. And clarity comes when you sit with the unease, not when you try to tame it with answers. You think knowing her body count will give you peace. You think she'll hand you her sins like a confession to a priest? No. Her past is not something she tells you. It's something she leaks through her choices, her silences, her friends, her habits, her lifestyle, her wounds. You want to know who she's been with? Watch how she looks at men she respects. Want to know who hurt her? Pay attention to who she can't stop talking about. Want to know if she's loyal? See how she treats others when she thinks you're not watching. You don't ask, you study. That's the way of the Stoic. That's how the Romans did it. That's how the real ones still do it. You're not here to interrogate her. You're here to protect yourself. A man's peace is his fortress, and the moment you give a woman power over it without verification, you build your kingdom on sand. She will never tell you the whole truth, not because she's evil, but because she's human, and humans hide shame. It's nature. Don't fight it. Accept it. And let your awareness, not your words, be your shield. She will reveal everything if you know how to look, and by the end of this, you will. Every man wants to know her past, but most ask in desperation, hoping she'll validate his worth through her answers. But understand this, when a man needs to know, he's already lost. You never chase truth through words, you extract it through patterns. Her history isn't hidden, it's encoded in the way she lives, breathes, and responds to pressure. Watch her closely. When you disagree with her, does she attack, withdraw, or manipulate? Conflict doesn't build character, it reveals it. A woman who's been loved gently but betrayed brutally won't respond with logic. She'll respond with scars. Her tone will shift, her softness will vanish, not because of you, but because of what came before you. You just triggered a file in her mind, one that's filled with memories you were never a part of. This is how you read her past. You don't ask. You provoke reality. A Stoic observes in silence. He creates environments that allow truth to surface organically. When you take her somewhere simple, does she complain? When plans change, does she panic or stay graceful? These are not random behaviors, they are echoes of experiences. The woman raised in chaos clings to control. The woman who's been cheated on overcorrects with suspicion. The woman who once used beauty as power often overcompensates with pride. Ask yourself this: who does she become when she isn't performing? When she isn't trying to impress? When she's tired, frustrated, or bored? That is her default. That's where the data lives. And the Stoic doesn't ignore the data because she's attractive. He catalogues it. Her lifestyle is the ledger of her past. Her social circle is the archive. The way she speaks about men, relationships, love, these are all blood-stained fingerprints from her history. She'll never tell you the full story, but her patterns will. The weak man digs for answers. The wise man attracts the truth. The more you stay grounded, silent, and unshaken, the more the truth leaks. She will test you, maybe even lie to you, not because she's wicked, but because she wants to see if you need her more than you know yourself. If you do, she'll control the story, but if you don't, she'll start showing the pages. Quiet strength exposes loud secrets. Now listen carefully, because the next layer of her truth is hidden not in what she does, but in what she avoids. Keep watching. What a woman avoids tells you more than what she engages with. Absence is a confession. Her unwillingness to speak about her ex, that's not healing, that's suppression. Her refusal to define the relationship, that's not freedom, that's fear. Her silence when you ask about childhood, that's not privacy, that's pain with a mask on. But here's the trick, brother. Don't confront it. Reflect it. Make space for silence, and she'll fill it with truth. Most men rush to fill the gaps in conversation because they fear discomfort, but the Stoic thrives in discomfort. Let the silence stretch. Let her sit in the stillness of your presence. Women reveal more in your quiet acceptance than in your interrogations. Be the mirror she can't run from. She won't tell you what she did in her past, but look at how she lives in the present. Her choice of entertainment, her boundaries with other men, her social media persona, her frequency of solitude versus stimulation. These are windows. A woman who constantly seeks noise is running from her own mind. A woman who flirts recklessly is chasing validation that was stolen in her past. A woman who can't sit still in peace has unfinished wars inside. Now ask yourself, how does she respond to your silence? That's the moment you gain insight. If your calm presence makes her nervous, she's hiding chaos. If your mystery draws out her control tactics, she's been through relationships where power meant survival. And if she mocks your stillness, it's because it exposes everything she's been hiding from. You don't need to say a word. Your posture, your gaze, your refusal to chase, that's your weapon. And here's a warning. If she speaks too highly of herself without ever owning a mistake, she's lying to herself and eventually to you. Real growth comes with humility. Watch if she takes accountability for anything. If every ex was crazy, every breakup not her fault, every failure just bad luck, you've just found a woman with unresolved history playing the victim in her own unexamined story. But don't hate her, just see her. You're not here to fix her, you're here to discern. The Stoic doesn't demand answers, he allows them to surface. Because only the man who doesn't need the truth is strong enough to hold it. And the deeper you go, the more obvious it becomes. Women don't hide their past from men who don't flinch at darkness. Next, we uncover the most dangerous signal a woman gives off, and why most men are too blind or too lust-drunk to see it. Stay sharp. The most dangerous sign isn't loud. It isn't a confession or a meltdown. It's subtle, polished, controlled. It's when everything seems too perfect, when her words are precise, her smiles always timed, her stories too smooth. That's when you're in the presence of a woman who's rehearsed, and what's been rehearsed has something to hide. You're not dealing with innocence, you're dealing with image management. She's not lying to deceive you, she's lying to protect the mask. Because somewhere in her past, the truth wasn't safe. Maybe it was heartbreak, maybe it was shame, maybe it was a version of herself she buried to survive. But that mask she wears, it's armor. And if you believe it too quickly, you'll be loving a ghost while the real woman stays in hiding. Here's what most men miss. The most well-put-together women often carry the heaviest emotional debt. She doesn't get triggered by chaos. She creates calm because her life once lacked it. She learned to look polished because her history was messy. She learned to speak sweet because she once screamed. She learned to make men feel safe because someone once made her feel helpless. You want to see her real past? Watch her when control slips, when she's overwhelmed, when she's late, when she loses her phone, when plans go wrong. That's when the rehearsed version breaks. That's when the cracks in the porcelain show. The Stoic doesn't shame those cracks, he studies them. Let me tell you something the world won't. Her past partners didn't all leave for no reason. Her reputation isn't spotless without effort. Her peace isn't natural, it's curated. And if you don't dig deeper, you'll fall for the fantasy she created to avoid her own reflection. Now here's where the Stoic flips the script. He doesn't chase that fantasy. He waits for it to shatter. He waits because he knows the truth always rises, when she's tired, when she trusts you, when she forgets to perform. And when that truth comes out, it hits hard. Because behind every perfect woman is a pile of discarded versions of herself she doesn't want you to meet. But if you stay grounded, still and unshaken, she will show you anyway. Your job isn't to judge it, it's to witness it, to see her fully, without illusion, because only when a man sees clearly can he decide wisely. And in the next part you'll learn exactly how to decide, with precision, with power, and with unshakable Stoic calm. Keep watching. When you see her for who she truly is, not the version she markets, not the one filtered through charm or chemistry, you're finally at the edge of power. Now comes the moment most men fumble, deciding, because seeing the truth and acting on it are not the same. Many will uncover the signs: emotional instability, addictive pathos, turns, inflated ego, victim complex, but will stay anyway. Why? Because lust hijacks logic, because comfort whispers louder than consequence. But not the Stoic. He weighs everything. He doesn't fall for potential. He measures patterns. He doesn't romanticize red flags. He documents them. If her past reveals a trail of emotional chaos, unstable friendships, cycles of drama, or an inability to be alone, you must treat those like fire. You don't touch it just because it looks warm. You step back because you've seen what it burns. You're not judging her. You're protecting your future. A man who refuses to filter the women he lets in is not enlightened. He's exposed. Understand this. You cannot build peace with a woman still addicted to war. Her past, if unhealed, will resurface, and you will not save her. You will drown beside her. So how do you decide? Ask yourself, does her energy regulate you or drain you? Does she reflect on her past with ownership or only blame? When you pull away to test her calm, does she spiral or stay composed? When silence stretches between you, does she rush to fill it or sit with it like you do? These are the diagnostics of truth, and truth is your compass, not your emotions, not your attraction, not your loneliness. The Stoic knows his peace is sacred. He does not sacrifice it for chaos wrapped in a beautiful body. He does not hand over his soul just to feel something again. He waits, he watches, he decides with precision. Remember, it's not her body that defines her value, it's her behavior when nobody's watching. It's what she does when she has nothing to gain from you, and it's how she handles the mirror of your presence when she can't perform. The final piece, it's not about her anymore, it's about you. Because if you still ignore what you've seen, the wound isn't hers, it's yours. And in the final section, we reveal the hardest tikbambas, root of all, why some men keep choosing what they know will destroy them. Prepare yourself. If you see the signs and still stay, then the problem is not her past, it's yours. A man doesn't ignore red flags because he's blind. He ignores them because part of him needs the pain, needs the chaos, needs the drama to feel alive. That wound you carry, the one that tells you love must be earned, that peace is boring, that passion needs to hurt. That wound is what makes you chase women you know will cost you your peace. Let that sink in. You keep trying to fix her because deep down, you couldn't fix your mother. You tolerate disrespect because your father taught you that real men endure. You get addicted to women with dark histories because your subconscious is still trying to win at a game that started in childhood. But the Stoic man doesn't just watch her, he watches himself, his urges, his emotional traps, his lust for danger disguised as desire. This is why you needed to learn how to read her without asking, not just to understand her, but to understand why you're drawn to her. Her past isn't the only mystery here, yours is too. And if you don't face it, you'll keep choosing women who mirror the damage you never healed from. You'll call it love, you'll call it fate, but it's just repetition. It's your trauma putting on a new dress every time. So how do you break the cycle? By choosing clarity over chemistry, stillness over stimulation, truth over validation. You sit with the silence she runs from. You study what triggers you. You learn to say no, not because you hate her, but because you finally love yourself. And that love, the quiet, disciplined, stoic kind, is the shield that keeps darkness out. You want to know her past? Look at yours first. Heal that. Strengthen that. Only then can you truly see her for what she is, not a savior, not a curse, not a fantasy, but a reflection. And when she shows you the truth through her energy, her habits, her silence, you'll listen. You'll be calm. You won't panic. You won't chase. You'll either stay with eyes open or walk away with dignity. Because the Stoic man never begs to be chosen. He chooses himself first, and from that place of power, there's nothing a woman can hide that you won't eventually see, and nothing she can take that you haven't already decided to give. You're not here to expose her. You're here to protect your peace. And now, you can.